How's it going, people? Javelin. Today's video is my cm901 moab, which I just got yesterday, which I promised to you on my last spawn trapping video that this was going to be my next gameplay, so here it is, as promised. And before I get into my class breakdown as usual, let's talk a bit about the gun stats, because I'm going to start going into a bit more detail than I normally do. So the damage on this gun is 49 per bullet out of 100 health, so that means you're killing 3 shots at close range, and the damage at long range is a little bit less than that. It's 25 per bullet, which means you're killing just 4 shots. But it's also got a headshot multiplier of 1.4, so if you're at close range, it means you can kill them in just 2 headshots where one of them is a in just 2 bullets where one of them is a headshot. Or at a distance, you can kill them in 3 bullets where one of those is a headshot. So the damage on this gun's pretty good for an assault rifle. Now the rate of fire on this weapon is 666 rounds per minute, which isn't really high for an assault rifle. I think it's the lowest fire rate out of them all, but I'm not too sure on that. So I'll get a double check and I'll put it in description. The reload time on this gun's 2.33 seconds, which is a fairly quick reload time, to be quite honest. It's not bad. It's not something you need to use sleight of hand with anyway. You can do it quite easily without sleight of hand. Now the draw time and the put back down time on this gun is 0.75 seconds, and what that means is how long it takes you to draw your weapon to get it up so you're aiming down sight from like sprinting as such. Obviously it's a bit less when you're using quick draw, when you're using sleight of hand pro, because that aims down sight a bit faster, but without that, that's the draw time on this weapon. The magazine size is fairly standard at 30 rounds for an assault rifle. I think that's what most of them are other than your FAD, so that's pretty good, pretty basic as well. You unlock this weapon at level 31. Now enough about the weapon stats, let's get into my class breakdown. So as you can see, I'm using the cm901. I'm using the kick as proficiency, as this gun I do not think is manageable whatsoever without kick. It's got quite a lot of recoil, so you definitely have to use that. Well, I do anyway. I definitely can't use it with that. So, and silencer is definitely something you have to use when you're going for a mob. You do not want to be showing up on radar. That really fucks you up, and you're not really got much of a chance of getting your mob if you're showing up on radar. So definitely use suppressor. That really helps you out, and you're not going to get it with that, I don't think. Very rare and very lucky if you do. Now for my secondary, I'm using the MP9 with suppressor again, which is what I use for every one of my classes, which I've mentioned in all my videos before. This gun is an absolute beast, and you should definitely give it a go. And for my lethal and tactical, I'm using my fairly standard setup again. Is the portable radar for my tactical, because this is absolutely amazing. It's really helps you out, especially when going for a mob, because it just, like I say, watches your back as such. You can place it down just a bit behind you, a bit in front to check round the corner if you haven't got UAV behind. That really helps you, unless they're in an assassin. But as again I've mentioned in my videos before, there's only usually 2 or 3 people running an assassin in a game, so you've only got like a 30% chance of running into someone using it. So yeah, that definitely helps you out. It's probably the best tactical to be using when going for a moab. As my lethal, I'm using a Claymore, and this is, I feel a bit lucky with it later actually using a Claymore, because I usually run with Semtex when going for a moab, and this game I didn't really have time to change my class setup, so I left it as Claymore, and I ended up placing it down around about top of the map, I think, just in that doorway, bottom building. I think I place it. I completely forget about it, and then as I'm at the other end of the map, I get a hit marker, so it gives me an idea where their team is, which I managed to run around there. I think I managed to pick a couple of them off. I don't get the assist. I must have got the guy who ran into a Claymore, so that definitely helped me out, and it were a kill towards my moab. So without that, I might not have got it. Never know. As my perks, I'm using Scavenger Pro, which is an absolute must-have for me when I'm going for a mob, because as I've mentioned before, my accuracy is not really that good, and especially with a gun with recoil like this, even though it kills in 3 bullets as I've mentioned, I probably shoot off 5 or 6 bullets, and that's pretty good accuracy for me to get a kill with that amount of bullets. So yeah, I have to use Scavenger Pro, otherwise I run out of ammo, and that's the last thing you want when you're going for a mob, to be running about looking for a gun. As my second perk, I'm using Assassin, and that's again for the same reason as Suppressor. You do not want to be showing up on the map. Once you've got your 8 kill streak, if you're running Specialist, you get it anyway, but it also helps to have it before then to help you get that 8 kill streak. Because if someone's running support or just assault kill streaks and they get that UAV, you're on their radar and they're going to kill you before you get your Specialist bonus and before you get Assassin. So definitely use that to start off with when going for a mob, whether you're using assault, killstreaks, or specialist, or even support if you're a noob. But yeah, definitely use assassin. My third perk, again, it's very standard for me, but it's an extremely good perk, is Marksman. Now, as I mentioned in my videos before, this perk comes really in handy because it shows them up at the other end of the map, which is fucking amazing. Because how many times will you kill someone by their name showing up at the other end of the map where you can't even see their body? And I can tell you now, a lot of times, I bet 20% of kills in every game I get is just by me only seeing their name. Which, if you add it all up out of all my kills and all the mobs I've got, I would not have got hardly any of these mobs without running Marksman. So yeah, definitely give that a go. Killstreaks, I'm using specialist because it makes it a lot easier when getting your moab, and cm901's not the easiest mob to get. It's not the hardest like a lot of people say, because that's the only reason I've gone for this one in particular, because a lot of videos on YouTube and a lot of requests off people via PSN saying that cm901's a really hard mob to get, and to upload it with a few tips on it and stuff, and people are always requesting it because they seem to think it's pretty hard, but it's not actually the hardest mob to get. There's a lot of guns that are a lot harder to get than this. I'm not going to go through them, but the list is endless. There's I bet 70% of the guns on this game are harder to get a mob with than the cm901. It's a pretty good gun, to be quite honest. Yeah, the only downfall is the fire rate, which makes your kill time a bit longer. But the extra damage on this gun, compared to your other assault rifles, boosts that kill time back up. So yeah, it's not that bad. And I was a bit lucky to get them all, as you can see by them. Sits running down there, didn't notice me, and him again jumping straight past. So I did manage to get my mob. It were a bit of a lucky one. It weren't too drawn out. We're a 6-minute mob. If I didn't do the camping at the beginning, I think there's like 2 minutes worth of camping it out at spawn before I actually got on my moab streak. It would have been a bit quicker. And as you can see as well, they were a pretty good mob because their team weren't actually doing that bad. They had 2 Pavlos, about 3 choppers, a couple of predators, stuff like that. They were on kill streaks. They were doing quite well. So that's another pro to this mob. I got it against a pretty decent team, and my team did pretty shit. And at end of game, their top player on their team ended up getting nearly 60 kills and not that many deaths. So they were a pretty good team. We were a party, and to get a mob on them is very good. I quite like that. As my specialist kill streaks, I am using sleight of hand. I don't usually go into detail talking about what kill streaks I use because it's usually personal preference, but this time I did actually set up the kill streaks for the mob. This is what I normally use when I'm going for it. If I proper try, not going for the titles and that, is using sleight of hand pro for my first 2 kills, and I get that because by the time I've got my 2 kills, I'm ready to reload, and it just speeds up that reload time again. So that really helps getting that. And I've just died there now. If you was adding it up, I managed to get on a 33 kill streak, which isn't too bad. 33 gun streak, sorry, not kill streak. I went about 40 kill streak, but 33 of them kills were just with the gun, so that's not a bad kill streak at all. I was using the blast shield as my second kill streak for like my 4 kills. And blast shield really helps when going through a mob, and when before you get your specialist bonus, it definitely helps out. Like with your grenades, your Semtex, your RPGs, Claymores, all that crap, all your explosives and your lethal, like your flashes and your stun grenades, stuff like that. So if you've got Blast Shield Pro, you're more resistant to them, so that really helps you out for getting your kill streaks. As my third one, we're using Hardline, and I always use Hardline as my last one when I've actually set the perks up properly, because it gives you your specialist bonus, like 1 kill earlier, so after 7 kills you get your specialist bonus, and then you're an unstoppable tank, which everyone knows, because once you get that you really are unbeatable. So yeah, that's my full class setup, the cm901 breakdown. It's a pretty good mob gameplay. I think I go 49-7. I might have worked out completely wrong, but it's something like that. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and hope you get quite a few tips out of it. Now, what I want you guys to do is I want you to leave some comments below. Let me know what gun you want me to do my gun analysis next on, what gameplays you want to see, whether you want more mob gameplays like this, or you want some tips on tutorials on how to level up fast, because I've got to my 11th prestige pretty quick. So yeah, just let me know and I'll post it up. So games come to an end. They were pretty good gameplays. So just remember to like, leave a comment and subscribe for much more, because I'm uploading daily. Thanks.